Boom, hey internets. How do you scale your products for a clothing brand? We're gonna talk about it in this video right now. Jon Phenom, clothing brand mentor. I've designed apparel professionally for over 24 years. Big conversation that I've been talking about with a lot of different people, and this actually came up in consulting recently. Now, there's a ton of people that I follow and that you will see on TikTok and social media that are amazing at crafters. Now that all of us are our own individual brands and we can show the world sort of what we do and what talents and skills we have, there's many people who've taken different niches of apparel and crafting and kind of been able to create a platform showing the world what they do. I follow a few accounts of very talented individuals that customize hats, and there's a plethora of creators that do DIY or that simply put out their own product that's one-offs or one of one. Now, I could speak on this topic and let me tell you why. Most of you probably have forgotten that way before the internet, I used to be Jon Phenom, the handmade denim maker. So basically, my mom had a broken sewing machine. I fixed it. I found it in our garage. I fixed the motor at the top and I started making things. I never actually went to school for designing clothing. And so there was a whole era where I thought, what's the craziest thing I can make with a sewing machine? And I made a pair of jeans and it went crazy. I ended up selling these jeans for $300 a pair and making bespoke custom denim for a ton of people around the world. Now, this drove me to the point where I hated sewing. So I would work at my industry job designing seasons of apparel from 9 to 5 or 6 o'clock. I would go home and eat, and then I would sew on a sewing machine till like 1 or 2 in the morning. Now, you know I was gonna end up being burnt out. We talk about balance and mental health all the time now, and so that was not going to continue, even though getting $300 a pair was a good price point for the jeans. Now, what I always knew is the spin-off I wanted to do was using more of the skills that I had in my 9 to 5, which is how to do product development. So I did many SKUs of denim in my first release in the earlier 2000s, and my overstock of some of that product is still available now on NONBETA.co, and you can see the detailing and different characteristics in some of those denim SKUs here. Now, I only bring that up to say I do know crafting and working as an artist by yourself, making all of the product. This is way before Etsy or different ways to sell that or creating a Shopify. But to come back to the whole essence of the video, any artists that are in those shoes, no matter what your product is or what your crafting is you have to keep mass production in mind. That's the whole essence of the video, is making sure you can figure out how to work with a vendor that can create a quality product in the likeness that you want and do it in mass and do it for a good price point. So for example, as I mentioned earlier, there's a lot of artists that are customizing headwear, whether they're dip dyeing it or ripping off panels and putting new fabrications on it. In that scenario, what I would do is create my own brand and use the same hat for some of the same tutorials and DIYs. One of my really popular videos is with Chance the Rapper and his number 3 hat, which he's been wearing for a long time. And he got this as a premium because he orders it in bulk, but he wears it on and off all the time, so you always see it as branding. I would take a page from that book and that success and have one strong branding piece of a hat. I would begin incorporating it into my videos, and then I would sell like some of the basic colorways and then maybe start flipping it a little bit later, but have that be the basis of what sells in mass production for my brand. This way, if you want to wean off of doing crafted one-offs and maybe just do a couple exclusive collaborations so you don't burn out the way I did when I was making custom-made denim, you can do as much or as little as you want, and the basis of your income can come from the brand selling more mass-produced products. Now, some artists cringe at this idea sometimes, but there's flexibility in it. When I say mass production, you don't have to do 1,000 pieces of each style of hat and kind of flood the market. You can do 100 but still sell them at a very high price point and make them very exclusive for that 100, let's say, but it's done by a manufacturer, so you're not literally physically doing all of the work for it. So my advice for an artist that's doing this is always keep mass production in mind. Later later on, part of the shift needs to be in just operating the business. So dealing with the vendor, creating the product, doing it in mass, and then dealing with shipping and customer service to make sure the basis that's supporting you is getting their products at a timely manner. Again, now this part of the business is not that cool. It doesn't present well on TikTok and social media, but it's how you take your brand and make it a bigger investment for the long term to take care of you once you've put all that time, energy, and effort in creating that hype and creating that following. Hope that helps. More questions for your brand, you can drop it all down below. You can hit me on this email here. For more solutions for your brand, go to CBA. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.